In this video, I'll show you a way to beat Metro of Desire at the hardest difficulty, difficulty 8. Before I start, I want to say that this is not free to play. If the title of my videos don't write free to play, then it's not free to play. However, you can still apply this strategy using a free to play team, but you just won't be able to beat the hardest difficulty. Maybe you can only beat difficulty 6 or 7. Let's start off with what charm you should take, which is probably the most important part of the entire strategy, because what you take and what set you activate matters a lot. I'm going for the Hope line, which is the second line. The first line I already did another tutorial or another guide on this already. Now for Hope line, we have new stuff, the exclusive one, the Sacred and Melodic. And let me just say, these two are absolutely useless. Not only are they useless, they are like some sort of translation error. They like, for example, Sacred 2 and Melodic 2 exactly the same, which is wrong. I think one of them is supposed to be same attribute, then the other is different attributes. But anyways, they are not really useful. So we're gonna ignore them, because these two revolves around the, I guess, the gimmick of the new path, which is the attribute seal. So basically, every time you use a skill or highlight or whatever damage, you will gain one attribute seal. And we have like 7 of them. You will activate some sort of almighty attack, and that damage is okay, just okay. It's not anything crazy. Even if you take some of these, it's still okay. It's not like super impressive compared to something like Merciful Set and the Agony stacks, which we will be using for this guide. So there are 3 sets that you have to take. I'll start off with the less important one, I would say, but still you need this set, which is the Stalwart set. You need just 2 sets of this. The Stalwart set just need 2, because you want to increase the defense, because you want to stall the battle a bit, and you want to rely on your healing and defense to kill the boss, because you're not going to do damage using your DPS, but you will be mostly inflicting ailments and debuffs on the opponent. The 4 set one, I guess if you can get to 4 set, but it's not that important. It's just some extra damage, and the damage is not that big compared to something like Merciful. So as for the individual charms, what you should take is definitely the defense. You want the defense buff. You want some sort of shield. The almighty attack, not that important, but you do want this one also not super important because it only lasts for 3 turns. This one also not bad. Okay, increase your shield. This one also not super important. So basically anything that increases your shield and defense, because you need to tank. Now let's move on to Merciful Set. Merciful Set is the main strategy I use for the Dream line, which still works for this one. It works almost equally as well. But you need Minami for this to work extremely well, which is why this is not a free to play guide. If you don't have Minami, you can still use like Lufel, but it's not as effective because Lufel's healing is not as good as Minami's healing. You need 4 sets of this. So what this set does is that the excess healing you do will be converted into damage, which is insane for Minami because her healing is a lot. As for the individual charms, so this one, the first one, healing effect is good because more healing effect means you do more damage. This one not as good because you do more damage to only one target and it's scaling on your attack. So if using Minami, this is kinda useless because she scales HP. And speaking of HP, this one increased the max HP, which is especially good for Minami, because again, she scales on HP. But it's still good for me, for like Lufel, because if you have more HP, you can tank more, which is also what you want. This one is decent. Reduce damage to 20% of amount healed. Okay, this one is useful if you're using Lufel because she scales attack. If not, if you're using Minami, not really useful. This one also not useful. Increase damage. We don't really need this. But regardless, you do need to take 4 of this. So the most important one is the healing effect and the HP. And the other 2 is up to you, depending on who you're using. Then the next and final set, the other very important set, the Crew set, which is your DOT. So the 4 set one is very important because this is basically like Pazuzu's passive. So if you attack with a skill, you will trigger the Agony stacks. Similar to Pazuzu, how when Pazuzu attacks, it will trigger the curse stacks. So it's the same concept, but it's only from Agony, and it's really good. You can stack up a lot. So Crew set, this one is very good. Inflict the debuff, you have a chance to inflict Agony stack. So this debuff is basically anything that can reduce the stats. And not just that, Windswept is also considered as debuff. For some reason, I don't know why, it's considered as a debuff. And the debuff for highlight is also counted as a debuff, like Wonders highlight. So like the highlight of like Narcissus or like White Rider or something, they count as a debuff. So you can AoE debuff them, and all the enemies will get the Agony stacks. This one also good to increase continuous damage, which is basically increase your DOT. This one not useful because we don't really need to do damage. This one is okay. It's okay for regular battles, but bosses not that useful because the bosses usually only have like maybe 1, or the battle can last for a long time, which doesn't make this very impactful. But for regular battles, this is very useful. This one very good. Ailment, inflict 3 Agony stacks. So Windswept is really good here, which is why Morgana is actually really good here. So your main 2 healers are gonna be Morgana and either Marion or Lufel, because Morgana can inflict Wind Swept, which will give 3 agony stacks. All of these are at max level, by the way, so you inflict 3 agony stacks with Wind Swept, and 1 more because Wind Swept is a debuff. So we can get 4 agony stacks with 1 Morgana skill 1. And then this one, the most important and the best set, the best charm for Cruel is this one. It's the ability to re-inflict agony after you inflict agony. So what this means is that if I inflict 1 agony, I have a 50% chance to inflict another agony. And then another 50% chance to inflict another agony. This goes on until you fail, or lose the 50-50 basically. Let's say Morgana, you inflict 4 Wind Swept with a skill 1. Each of the agony stacks, 4 of them, right? They have an individual 50% chance to re-inflict, and then they can keep re-inflicting until they lose the 50-50, or until you reach 30 agony stacks, which is quite rare, but I have reached like 20 plus before, which is crazy. And the more agony stacks the better, because not only will they take more DOT from themselves, the enemies, right? When they move, they will take DOT. You can also activate the foresight when you use a skill, so it's really big damage. And on top of that, you also have Marian's healing who will keep you alive and also do damage herself. Now I'm gonna talk about the lost items here. These ones are not super important. The only thing that you should not do is taking items that will reduce your defense or HP, because you need to tank. And Marian scales on HP. If you're using Lufel, don't take anything that can decrease his attack as well, because Lufel scales attack. So you need to be aware of who scales on what. So for example, this one is good for Marian because it increases max HP, decreases attack, but doesn't matter because we're not going to do damage. But if you're using Lufel, don't take this because we don't want to decrease the attack. So that's what I mean, to be aware of who scales what. And then another thing I want to point out is the weakness, this one. So depending on your DPS, you can take one of these. You should take one of these. It's quite likely that you will meet one of these in the fight. Just aim for the blue teddy bear or something and it will pop out. So if you're using Joker, take this one. If you're using someone like Makoto, take the nuclear. If you're using An, you take fire. This will give a weakness to the opponent, which will make things easier for you and can do slightly more damage. And then other than that, not that important anymore. You can take whatever one as long as, again, don't decrease your HP or defense. And if you're using Lufel, also don't decrease the attack. And you can also sacrifice a bit of damage for more survivability, because your main goal is to tank. So now we're going to talk about the characters that you should put on your team. So there are some characters that you need 2 healers. So your 2 healers can be Lufel and Morgana, or even better, Marian and Morgana. So if you're using Lufel, just know that he scales attack, and his main role is to be using a lot of skill 3. You can also skill 1 also to inflict the ailment, which is good because you can inflict agony also. Morgana is mostly there to spam skill 1. And Morgana is also good here because of the follow-up healing. Follow-up healing means that you can do damage also. You're not really going to use skill 2 much unless it's really needed, unless your HP is super low, then you use skill 2. If not, you use skill 1 to inflict Wind Swept, which will inflict like a bunch of agony. As for Marian, she is very good. She will be using a lot of skill 3 to heal and do big damage. Now for Navigator, self-explanatory. Puppet for the defense and shield, you want to tank more, very simple. For our DPS, it's kinda up to you. You can use kinda whoever you want, but the best DPS are the DPS that can inflict ailment. If you have Makoto, use her, which I don't have. I cannot really test, but she's gonna be really good with skill 1 because of the ailment. She can inflict 5 ailments, which is massive. So she's a pretty good character to have and use for this fight. If you don't have, Joker can also work. An, even better, because she can burn with skill 2. And if you have her 5-star weapon, she can also burn when she's in the roll state here. So it's really useful. So I would prefer An over Joker, and Joker An is also technically free center character. And then for Dagger, of course, all in, you want the defense. Now Persona is also quite important, so you can add in a sustain like Saravasti for example for healing. You use this only when you need it, because Wanda's healing is not that much. Wanda's job is to inflict a bunch of ailments and debuff to keep stacking the agony. And then An's job is to trigger the agony with her skill, her AoE skills. Morgana also inflict Wind Swept to inflict agony. Marian spamming skill 3 to heal and do damage. Puppet to shoot. So that's a general strategy. So as for the Persona, you can, like I said, include Saravasti, and then you can include some personas that can inflict ailment. So it also depends on teammate. If you're using someone like Joker, you can include Alice, because Alice initial skill is counted as a debuff. The increasing the damage opponents take, this is counted as a debuff, which will inflict agony stacks. And Alice is also quite nice here because she has a chance to Oko shadows that's less than 50%, so she's gonna be a time saver. If you don't have her or you don't want to use her, you can also use someone that can inflict element. Since I'm using a fire team, I'm using An. Lamia is pretty good because she can burn. Make sure to give like burn boost or something. And also ideally element accuracy also, which I don't have here. And another, probably the persona that I think is the best, Jatayu. Why? Because I already explained just now, Windsweep is really good. Windsweep is counted as both a debuff and an ailment, and this can do AoE. Of course, the chance is not guaranteed, but if you inflict Windsweep, try speed damage. And not just that, the passive can debuff defense, which means with a single Magarula, if you inflict Windsweep, you can inflict 5 agony stacks. That is 1 more than Morgana because of Jatayu's passive. So that's a lot of agony stacks. And coupled that with the re-inflicting 50% chance to re-inflict the agony stacks, you're gonna inflict an insane amount of stacks. So I would highly recommend Jatayu, and he's also AoE, so you don't have to worry if the boss is AoE or not. So this is a team I'll be using actually, Saravasti, Jatayu and Lamia. Then both Jatayu and Lamia also has the debuff highlight, which means we can inflict more debuff, because this also counts as a debuff, the increased damage taken. So this is basically like the general rule, general strategy. Now I'm going to show you some gameplay on how to execute the strategy. And now I'll just show you the shop. I'm actually at the end of the... Oh man, how can I show the map? I'm at the end of the fight already. Like right after this shop is the boss, but I'll show you what to do with the shop. So I want to look at the charms that I have right now. So I have 4 set Merciful, 4 set Crew, 2 set Sour. Then I have the healing, I have the HP. Oh no, I don't have the HP. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now I'm gonna try and buy it from the shop. Then I have the 2 shields one, which is the 2 good ones, the increasing the shield. Agony stacks, they are very good. Debuff will give you agony stacks. This one increase the DOT. This one not useful. And this is also good. You inflict agony stacks when you inflict ailment. This one is pretty much a must-have for your set. So basically, if you notice that you are missing something, just try to aim it in the shop. There's Star Wars set, but I won't be using him. Also a tip, do not buy the upgrades from the shop because it's expensive. You see, this one is $100. But if you go to enhance, it's only 50. So don't buy the upgrades, it's not worth it. So now we can try and refresh. Okay, we got the HP, very good. We have to buy this, we don't have enough. So what I'll do is I'll actually sell something that's not useful. This one is not useful, so I'll just sell this. I'll sell that, then I can buy this. Then everything else not useful. This one also not really useful. Actually, this one is not bad. You can decrease the damage taken by 25%. So I actually buy this. It's kind of expensive, but I think it's worth it to tank even more, because I'm actually gonna battle the snake, which is the most difficult boss in the Metro Desire. Everything else not useful here. We deal one last time. Yeah. Okay, there's nothing else. Since I still have a lot of money, I can start upgrading the stuff. Okay, healing effect, of course I'm gonna upgrade this. HP I will upgrade also. And then shield, and the agony stacks also. Okay, this one is good. You can have 2 more. So I can upgrade this and this. So that's a lot of upgrades. So when you pick the charms right during the battles and stuff, you don't have to pick everything. You can just sell them if you don't need them. And only pick the stuff you need. And now we go to the boss. I'm very confident with the strategy that I went ahead and tried on the boss. It's such a bad boss that they included it in the second route, because the first route also has the snake, and they included it on the second route also. Okay, now we fight the boss, which is the snake boss, which is very difficult. So I'm not gonna use anyone's highlight first. That's a lot of damage. I wanna save for Morgana's highlight just in case. So I'll just burn. There's 4 agony stacks. See 1. Oh, it's immune. Crap. That's bad. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, skill 2. Now Morgana's gonna be a bit useless now. Heal. Okay, it's almost dead. Ouch. Oh no. Okay, it's almost dead. Oh, I should just use Marion's highlight here. Because it's at 1 HP, it's gonna reborn. And then it's gonna attack again, which is super annoying. Now it's ice. That's bad. Oh. Okay. Skill 1. Then sadly we cannot inflict winds. Wait, oh, let me check again. The elements, the weakness might change. No, it's still the same. Unfortunate. Skill 2. Inflict the fire. Burn. 17 now. Really nice. Okay, Marion skill 3. I hope this kills. Come on. Nice. Okay. Ooh. Morgana or Marion dying is really bad. Because we'll be missing a healer and then Morgana dying means that we cannot revive anymore. So what I'll do is this. I hope this doesn't kill. Oh, that's close. Okay. Skill 1. Then I'll actually heal. That's super low healing. Please activate full attack. Don't have. Skill 2. Okay, good. Thankfully. Okay, summon the... No, not yet. Okay, we're still fine. Skill 3. Okay, nice. Wonder we just keep spamming this. This might kill, I'm pretty sure this will kill actually. Yep, that's crazy. Okay, so now what I want to do is I actually want to kill this guy first. So that it will be easier on the next phase. Which is when the snake dies, it will summon like 4 year longer. Okay, thankfully I can hit this. But I only use single targeting moves. Skill 2. Okay, we might need another turn. No, the skill 1 actually. Maybe guard. Maybe guard. Save some SP. Ooh, you take charge. Oh no! We killed this. No. Yeah, kill itself from the DOT. Crap. Ooh. Okay, now we need to be smart. Because they do big damage. So I can use Mangarula here to inflict a bunch of wind sweep. Oh, I can highlight. Okay, you know what? Let me highlight this. So debuff everything and give the agony stacks also. Hopefully a lot of agony stacks. Oh, I think one of them reached 12. Is it 12? Wow. Well, 12 is because from the previous fight. Okay, Magarula. Wind Sweep. Okay, we feel got Wind Sweep. Okay, what is that? I think it gives them an effect. This one. Okay, that's very good. Okay, then we attack the one that has the most Wind Sweep. That has 9. We want to try and kill it fast. So we have to deal with less of them. Nice! This might kill everything, maybe, with the effect. Does it? No, it doesn't. Oh, it only activates 1. Oh, I should have waited for ants. Okay, never mind. That's still okay. We just need to tank one more round. Come on. Oh, Freyla, don't hit Marion. Okay, oh, no wonder, don't die. Oh crap. Okay, thankfully it's just Wonder. So it's still doable, Still in this, skill 1. We just need Morgana's highlight. Skill 1. Let me try and target this guy. Please die. No wind sweep, crap. Okay, skill 3. Oh, one of them has 11. Okay, this one. This Okay, good damage. Okay, one is dead. Okay, this should be GG. You know what? Yeah, screw it man. Let's do this. No need to revive anymore. Wonder can stay dead. Will this kill? Okay, skill 3 should kill. GG. GG. Very easy. Difficulty 8. I mean 8. And here it is. Difficulty 8. And against the snake no less, which is the toughest boss in the Metro of Desire. Here it is. GG. Hopefully you guys can beat it as well.